Hi, everybody, and welcome to my masterclass. Hi, can you guys hear me? I'd love to know if you guys can hear me. Hi, Christina. I see that you're writing stuff down. Hi. Can you guys let me know if you can hear me? Hello. And can you guys let me know where you're from? Where you guys located from? I'd love to know. Perfect, you can hear me. We are a little bit early, so we'll give people a chance to join. But yeah, I'm excited. So, where are you guys from? I'm excited to be meeting you all today. Hi, so you are from California. Where are you guys from? Where are the rest of you guys from? From Texas. Oh, somebody's from Egypt. Vancouver, Canada. Fun fact, I'm also Canadian. Yeah. Spain. Oh, wow. We have all kinds of people from around the world. That's so cool. Nice. From the Netherlands. Okay, that's wonderful. So, oh, another Canadian, Canada, Montreal. Cool, cool, cool. There's other Canadians here. Where else is everybody from? I'd love to know. Somebody says they follow my TikTok. That's wonderful. Yeah, I'd love for you guys to just introduce yourselves a little bit, and we're going to give people a chance to join. Oh, somebody's from England. How cool. Somebody's from England. Wow, that is very cool. So, Europe from Hungary. That is really awesome. Nice. Greece. Okay, so it's really international right now. That is really wonderful. It's really international. And if you guys at any point can't hear me, just let me know. And I can adjust what needs to be adjusted. Am I able to turn my mic up? Somebody else is from Canada, another fellow Canadian. That is so cool. It's so interesting because I'm also from Canada. There's a lot of Canadians here today. Oh, hi, Mike. Yeah, we've done sessions. You're from Texas. Somebody's asking, how long is the masterclass going to be? It's going to be around an hour, probably 45 minutes, and then we'll do a Q&A session after. Yeah. Somebody's saying to save the Q&A. Of course, we're going to save the Q&A for later. Oh, Colombia, another Canadian. There's a lot of Canadians here today. How interesting. Yeah. Okay. All right, so we're going to give people a chance to join. So I'm just going to let you guys introduce yourselves a little bit. And do you guys still hear me clearly? Oh, this is hi, Austin. Nice to see you again. Can you guys still hear me clearly? Oh, somebody's from Greece. How nice. You're from Greece. Yeah, if you guys can write in the chat if you can hear me clearly, that would be really wonderful. So, yeah, because I am also on TikTok at the same time. Okay, people can hear me clearly. All right, so I'm from Portugal. Nice. This is wonderful. Somebody said clear but low volume. Okay. I'm going to try to talk as loud as I can. I'm not really sure how to adjust the volume because I'm at the max. But yeah. Okay, another Canadian here. Crystal clear. Perfect. You guys can hear me. Okay, wonderful. So we're going to give more people a chance to join, and we're going to get started with this masterclass. I will be sharing my screen and we'll dive into all of the topics that we were supposed to be discussing today. So I'll just let you guys a chance to tell me where you're from, introduce yourselves a little bit while we give people a chance to join. So people are saying that the volume is a little bit low, so I'm just going to try to adjust that, to adjust the volume. So one moment. Okay. Oh, somebody said they're both on TikTok and YouTube, so they're streaming from both places, and you can hear me clear on both platforms. Wonderful, yeah. So you're going to give people a chance to join, and then we'll get into the masterclass, and I'll share with you the no contact strategy, my no contact strategy that I use to hopefully help you guys reconnect with your exes as well, because I obviously know how sucky breakups are. I've been through it myself, and I'm really excited to have this opportunity to help you guys, especially for the holiday season, because you guys all deserve, to start the new year with the person you love most. All right, so I'm just going to try to adjust the volume a little bit louder. Perfect. I put it at the loudest that it can go. Okay. All right. All right. So, okay. Somebody else is from Greece, somebody's from Toronto, from Tennessee. Yeah, so keep letting me know where you guys are from while we give people a chance to join. And I'm talking as loud as I can. And somebody said, please keep the Q&A till the end. Yes, I agree. So we're going to do the Q&A at the end of this masterclass. I'll just share with you guys my no contact strategy, because whatever questions you guys have might anyways be answered during this masterclass. Also, because I'm streaming both on YouTube and TikTok, I hope you guys can see me clearly on both platforms. So yeah. Someone's from Rochester, New York. Wonderful. Oh, somebody said, hi, Pearl. It's Brandon from San Diego. Yes, we do sessions together. Hi, Brandon. Nice to see you. Somebody said, is this being recorded? Will we be able to watch again later? Yes, it is being recorded. It should be available to watch later. Yes, absolutely. Yes. So whoever can't stay on this whole entire time, whoever misses this masterclass will be able to watch later in case you guys miss it. So we're going to get started in just about 2-3 minutes. I'm going to give a couple more people the time to join. But you guys can tell me a little bit where you guys are from, introduce yourselves. Somebody else is from Miami, from Orlando. Wonderful. And we're going to keep the Q&A for the end of this masterclass. Wow, we have somebody from South Africa. How neat. How wonderful, South Africa. Wow. That is really wonderful. Somebody's from London, somebody else from England that wants their fiance back. Well, then make sure to stay on this masterclass and we'll be sharing with you everything. Somebody's from Germany. We really have people from all around the globe, which is really, really wonderful. It's really cool. Oh, another person from Canada. There's a lot of Canadians here today. Oh, somebody else is from the UK. How wonderful. Wow. Oh, from Guatemala. All right, we're going to keep the Q&A. Somebody's from Iraq. That's pretty awesome. And we're going to keep the Q&A at the end, like I said before, to give a chance to really, some of your questions might be answered anyways in my masterclass. So we'll do the Q&A at the end, all right? And I'm just going to align the cameras like this, so hopefully you guys can see me well on TikTok and YouTube, no matter where you guys are streaming from. All right. Okay, so I'm just going to prepare my screen sharing. If you're on TikTok and you do want to see my slides that I'm going to be sharing, you guys can hop on to my live on YouTube, because my screen is only going to be shared on on YouTube, not on TikTok. I'm not able to do both. All right, so there's people from all around the world, it seems like, which is really wonderful. And how are you guys doing on this Sunday? How is everybody's holiday going? While we give a chance for people to join, and I'm really excited to start this masterclass, and then at the end we'll ask a question. We'll have a question period so I can answer all of your questions, all right? Somebody else said the volume is very low. I am trying to adjust the volume. I'm not really sure how else to adjust it. So maybe just pump your volumes up on your phone, and I'm going to talk very, very loud as I can, so that the volume is better, all right? But can you guys hear me even though the volume is low? Please write in the chat. All right. All right, guys, we're about to get started. Oh, somebody else says Nick from Ecuador. Somebody says they hear an echo. Oh, if you hear an echo, it's because I'm not sure why you hear an echo, but you might want to only join from one place, either TikTok or YouTube, so there's no echo. Okay, so I'm gonna try to adjust the volume as best as I can. The audio mixer, I'm just looking at it quickly. I'm not sure how. I'm doing the best that I can. All right. All right, guys, I'm doing the best that I can to be as loud as I can so you guys can hear me properly. Okay? All right, guys, so I'm about to start my masterclass. Somebody said holidays was low key but too emotional. Of course, this is why we're all here today. Well, hopefully, we're going to start this year on a more positive note. Okay, so guys, I know there's a little bit of an audio issue on YouTube. I'm talking as loud as can be to make sure that this masterclass will be as clear as it can be. Just try to use earphones if you have to, no matter what you do, so you can hear me properly, all right? Okay, so we're gonna get started now since we have quite a lot of people here with us today. So I'm just gonna go ahead and share my screen for those of you who are on YouTube so you guys can see my slides. And let me know if you guys can see my screen for those of you that are through YouTube. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to get started. Alrighty, let's get started. All right, we're going to go to here. Alrighty, guys, we're about to get started. I'm just going to share my screen so you can see what I see. 1 second. All right, let me just close this. Okay, so we're gonna get started in a few minutes, guys. I'm just gonna share my slides so you guys can see. Somebody asked, what's my YouTube channel? So for those of you who are on TikTok who wanna really follow through the masterclass and see the slides, my YouTube channel is Stronger by 2 TWO. You guys can go on YouTube so you'll actually be able to see the slides and really, really follow along, all right? Because I want you guys to be able to follow along as well. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm sharing my screen now. I'll tell you when it's done and you guys can confirm with me that you see it. And so then we can really get started. Okay. One moment, please. No, 1 second. No. Here, there you go. All right, guys, can you see my screen? If for those of you who are on YouTube, can you see my screen? Just please confirm that you can see my screen in the chat so that I could actually get started. Just confirm. Can you guys please confirm in the chat if you can see my screen for those that are on YouTube? And if you want to see the screen, make sure to go on YouTube, Stronger by 2. No, there's no difference between YouTube and TikTok. Just people are streaming from different places. Oh, people are saying they can't see my screen. Okay, so let me just adjust so you can see my screen. One moment, let me just adjust this. Okay, so we'll do this. 1 second. Okay, are you guys able to see my screen now? Okay, I'm just gonna remove Okay, let me know if you guys can see what I'm sharing on my screen because I'm trying to Okay. All right, guys, so we're gonna get started. I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. I'm not sure if you're not able to see it. Let me just try one more time. Let me try one more time to share with you my screen. Are you guys seeing it now? Write in the chat if you are. If you're not, we'll just get started without it and it will pop up whenever, okay? Okay, guys. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get started. All right. So somebody said you have to put what you show above the webcam, like layering. Thank you. I'm not a professional at this stuff, but I'm going to get started and the screen will pop up when it pops up. All right, so first things first, welcome to this masterclass. So as we discussed, I'm here today to share with you guys my no contact strategy. So those who have been following me on TikTok for quite some time probably are aware that I have already married my ex. I have a pretty big platform on TikTok with about 150,000 followers. So I've helped thousands of people over the past couple of years. But what got me into this whole entire relationship coaching? So for those who don't know me, I actually went to school for psychology and that was the path I was going down. I was planning on becoming a therapist. And back in 2020, I got dumped. So at the time, my ex was the one that had broken up with me. I wasn't the one that left him. So I was the dumpy, he was the dumper. All right. And so basically, what ended up happening is he broke up with me and I went online and I searched, how to get through a breakup. And that's when I originally discovered this whole entire no contact thing, right? That's when I discovered no contact. That's how I literally discovered it. And so I go into no contact, and long story short, we did get married, and I will discuss a little bit more about my situation a little bit later down in this masterclass. I will share with you guys the details of my breakup and of my reconciliation. But ever since both we got back together and I had my no contact success story, that's when I decided that this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a relationship coach, and I wanted to help others going through the exact same thing as me. And this was my journey to becoming a relationship coach, okay? So for those of you who are on YouTube, I don't know if you could see my screen or not, but, oh, they said we see a black screen, and if you move out of the screen, it may show. Okay, so we'll try. So for those asking if he was an avoidant, right? He actually was an avoidant, which is why I talk so much about avoidant exes as well. And so basically, right, this is how I got my whole entire start, all right? So let's get started with what the people are saying. They still don't see anything, but do you guys see me? If you don't see my shared screen, do you at least see me so I can continue going on with this masterclass? Even if you can't see the thing, can you at least see me? Okay. All right. So basically, right, if you're here today, you've probably already thought, what if I do no contact and my ex forgets about me? What if my ex moves on from me while I'm silent? What if no contact pushes my ex away forever? If you're here today, you're probably having all the fears and all the doubts that I had when I was going through no contact, because I had every single one of those fears. I had every single one of those doubts, right? And these fears are very normal. And these fears are very meaningful as well, right? It's normal to have those fears. But one thing about fears is that when you're afraid of something, you're not necessarily afraid of something because it's bad for you. We get scared of things when they're out of our comfort zone because we're afraid. We're afraid of that final outcome, right? You're trying to detach. Your nervous system craves answers. It craves certainty. It craves communication from your ex. So all you want, all your body wants, is to have control over the situation, and all you want is to communicate with your ex. And this is why no contact is so hard. But just because no contact is so hard, that doesn't mean that no contact is wrong, right? Growth and changes will shake you to your core. And this is what we're trying to achieve. When an ex chooses to break up with you, they've already made the decision. That decision to them feels like a permanent decision. And so by going into no contact, you're not trying to undo that decision, because we can't undo a decision that was already taken place. But what you can do is you can make the decision to go into no contact and give your ex the opportunity to change their mind in their future. So no contact cannot change the past. It can only change the present, and it can only change the future for you and your ex. Okay. I know that you guys are not seeing the shared screen on YouTube, but if you guys see me at least, that's good enough, because I'm not sure, I'm struggling to share my screen, but if you guys can see me, let me know so I can keep going with this masterclass. So I don't want to hold people up. So just please let me know if you see me at the very least in the chat below. Can you guys, okay, you see me. Okay, perfect. All right. So let's continue. Alrighty, so let's keep going. So next, my no contact story. So this is what most of you guys are curious about. What's my no contact story? What's my origin story? How did all of this start and happen for me? That's the most exciting part, right? So what happened was, in my situation, is in the end of 2020. So our breakup and our reconciliation happened years ago. So yes, you guys can break up, can get back together, and can have a very, very, very strong bond and very strong connection later on. A breakup can make your relationship stronger, which is so important to know, okay? So at the end of 2020, December 2020, I, at the time, had been dating my now husband, but at the time we were boyfriend and girlfriend, and we had been dating for about a little bit over 2 years we had been dating. So we were seeing each other maybe about a year prior. We were officially for about 2 years, and we were living together. We were super serious. I mean, we were super young, but you talk about the future. We talked about getting married one day, settling down, and then COVID happens. When COVID happens, our relationship definitely was shaken up. It definitely took a hit. When COVID happened, it was a very hard time for a lot of people. We were confined in the same home 24/7. At that time too, I had just finished my bachelor's degree at that time. And I was a little bit unsure about what I wanted to do next, and all schools were closed. It was just a very messy situation. Tension happened, fights happened. One thing leads to the other, and then the dreaded breakup happens. He breaks up with me. So he breaks up with me, right? I'm going through, I hear him say the words, but I was extremely shocked, because to me, this was, it was like it was my first real relationship. It was so serious. It was so real. I was very, very shocked, and I did what most of you guys do, which is say, hey, is there anything I can do to get you to change your mind about this breakup? Is there anything that can be done to get you to change your mind? And he very quickly made it clear. That no, there was nothing. This was it. The breakup was happening, and there was nothing I can do. There was nothing I can say to change his mind, which really, really, really sucked. It really sucked. So the breakup happens, and I didn't beg. I just asked, hey, is there anything else I can do? I know most of you guys have begged. Not everybody, but a lot of you guys, and it doesn't matter if you did or if you didn't, because it doesn't change the outcome anyways. But in my situation, I definitely said, hey, are you sure there's nothing I can do? I kind of tried pushing for me to say, hey, like, there's something I can do. And then I just pretty much accepted it and said, okay, that's fine. I guess I'll just move out, or it is what it is, right? I go home, I Google how to heal from a breakup, learn about no contact, and I said, I'm going to start this no contact journey, and I did. So as of then, I did not reach back out to him. That same week of the breakup, he reached out to me briefly here and there about about exchanging stuff, right? And I basically made the decision to do an intense no contact. So I basically, while he was at work, showed up, cleared out all my stuff, moved back in with my parents, and he came home and texted me, hey, I saw you're out of the apartment. I guess you moved out. And that just started my no contact. I didn't respond. My no contact starts. So I'm in no contact, hoping and praying, please make this man come back to me. I want to be with this person. And all I could think about was him. All I could think about, what is he doing? What is he feeling? I was just in so much shock. And I was really, really obsessing over the fact of I need him back. How is he going to come back? When is he going to come back? So I'm in no contact, just desperately wanting him back, but I'm still doing no contact the way we know it, by not communicating with him. 3 weeks go on and no contact. The holiday season comes up. He texts me. He texts me for the holiday season. First he texts me, Merry Christmas text. Didn't think much of it, was what it was. Then New Year's happened. At midnight, on New Year's, he sends me a text and he's like, Happy New Year. And in my mind, I was like, wow, this is it. My no contact is working. This person's coming back to me. He texted me New Year's at midnight. This is it, right? So I believed that, okay, he's coming back to me. And I, at the time, this was before I was a relationship coach. I was studying psychology. I was, but I didn't have the same knowledge I had today. So when he texted me that, I basically told him, I had basically responded and I basically told him, I miss you so much. And he's like, I missed you too. And we made plans to see each other. And I was under the impression, this is it. We're getting back together. I did my no contact. It was successful. We're getting back together. Unfortunately, we hang out one day that week, and then we hang out again that week, and then we hang out again, and then we hang out again. And long story short, by the end of the week, he gets cold again, and my anxiety rises up, right? Because the second somebody pulls away, it makes us feel anxious. What's going on? And I muster up the courage to ask him, hey, what's going on? I feel you pulling away. And he's like, well, you know what? I just don't think I'm ready for anything. And I'm all depressed all over again, all sad all over again, thinking, wow, this is it. I tried no contact. It must have failed. But at the same time, later I think maybe later that night or the next day, I kind of had a realization and I was like, did I really do no contact? Because all I did throughout this whole entire time was wait for him, was think about him, was be tunnel visioned on him. So I was like, did I really do no contact, right? Properly. And then, okay, so can you guys still see me? Just write in the comments if you guys can still see me so that I can make sure that I can keep going with this masterclass. So while what ends up happening, right, is, and by the way, if people have begged, don't even worry about begging. Most of my clients have begged. Most people have begged. And I didn't beg, but I definitely did try to make things work. And that's when I realized that I really, really, really just needed to do no contact the right way. And this is what I mean when I talk about my no contact strategy. Because my first attempt at no contact after him having reached out after 3 weeks, I wasn't doing no contact the right way. I was doing no contact the way that most online coaches say, which is, hey, don't communicate with your ex. Just don't talk to them. They're going to come back to you. They all come back to you. But that's not necessarily true, right? You can't just not communicate with your ex. And you can't just not communicate with an ex and then boom, expect them to come back. No contact is deeper than that. There's more that needs to be done in order to actually push forward reconciliation. So that's when I realized I need to do no contact also for myself. I need to try to heal. I need to try to detach. I need to also do it for myself. And that's how all of this began, right? So my no contact strategy was curated after that 3-week period, right? So we're going to continue. During that 3-week period, I really did no contact. So after the 3 weeks, he reached out, we hung out for a week. Now we're about a month no contact. I'm restarting my no contact. After that, I did a full 3 months of no contact with zero communication. During that 3 months of no contact, I focused on myself. I focused on healing. I focused on detaching. I reconnected with friends. I didn't just sit at home, crying myself to sleep. I mean, I did cry because obviously you're sad and you're depressed, but I did try as best as I could to do other things that were meaningful, like hanging out with friends, hanging out with family. I said, okay, I'm really going to continue my education, right? Because at the time I had just finished my bachelor's. I wasn't really sure if I was going to keep going. I said, I'm just going to go back to school and I'm going to just try different things, career paths, and figure out what I want. And I'm going to work on myself and do all these things. So at the end of a 3-month period of full no contact, he reached back out to me, and this time we got back together. So we got back together in April of 2021. We got back together. So April 2021, we got back together. And we've been back together ever since, and we got engaged about a year later, and I've been married for a few years now, so everything worked itself out. So now we've been back together for many, many years. So yeah, so getting back together can make your relationship stronger. And I realized in our situation, it did make our relationship stronger because when we got back together during our time apart, we both realized how much we missed one another, and we both made the decision we're going to be the best version of ourselves in order to make this relationship work, and in order to obviously now make sure that our marriage, right, lasts in eternity the way that it's supposed to last, right? And so I will say that, both of us have stayed true to we're going to make sure to be the best versions of ourselves all these years later. And so all these years later, I'm still extremely happy in my marriage to him, okay? And just to answer a couple questions for people that are wondering, because people are probably going to wonder, was he avoidant? Yes, he was. He was fearful avoidant at the time of the breakup. He's since then worked on his attachment style. And I myself would definitely say I was leaning anxious for sure. So he was definitely more avoidant. He was more avoidant. I was more anxious. So it was a very typical breakup with anxious, avoidant, right? And then to answer a couple more questions that people are probably going to wonder was that actually, because people ask me all the time, what about social media? So he had actually removed his status on social media that he was dating me. He had changed his social media profile picture to him alone, not the one with us. So if your ex is doing all these kinds of things on social media and it's throwing you off and you're thinking, wait, they're fully done with me, not necessarily. Exes go through a relief stage, and in that relief stage, this is the type of stuff that they engage in, right? They're relieved. So this is the type of stuff that they're engaged in. Okay, so, all right, so just to continue. By the way, if anybody has any questions, we're going to do a Q&A later on. I did see a question, somebody talking about harm. Just remember that no contact is very, very, very beneficial for you regardless of anything. You are going to be okay with or without them, okay? Now, let's continue. So, moving forward. What's the missing piece that most online coaches don't discuss? The big missing piece for actual reconciliation is this. No contact only works when you change internally. If you're waiting for your ex, if you're not detaching, if you're hoping and you're not healing, right? And if you're just silent with your ex the whole entire time, if you're silent but you're still energetically chasing your ex the whole entire time, your no contact won't function, okay? If you want your ex back, you need to take your healing and detachment very, very seriously. And I'm not just saying this as a way to trap you guys into actually healing or taking your no contact seriously and whatnot. I'm saying this because it's the truth, because I've also been through no contact myself. And the first round of no contact that we didn't work because I was energetically far too attached to him. I was silent in my words, and I was technically in no contact, but I was still looking at his social media, trying to get cues, trying to get answers. So I was making all of these mistakes, which ended up not getting him to come back. But when I did it the proper and the right way, that's when he came back to me. Okay? So, I know that you guys can't see my screen, but just to keep checking in, are you guys still hearing me? If ever you don't hear me, just let me know. All right. So my no contact strategy, so the layers. Number one, the first layer of the proper no contact strategy is you need to actually give your ex physical space. So no texting, no calling, no checking in, no accidentally running into them. Some people might go at the gym at the same time as their ex, knowing that their ex is going to be there, which is not a good idea, right? Don't do that. So don't accidentally run into your ex either. Okay? Then let's keep going. The second layer is emotional detachment. You need to be able to regulate your anxiety and your anxiousness. You need to be able to calm your nervous system down. So you want to regulate your anxiousness, you want to calm your nervous system down, and you need to make sure to actually become the best version of yourself. If you want your ex back, you need to be the best version of you, a version of you that your ex cannot resist, right? So what's the most attractive thing? The most attractive thing is confidence. You need to be confident. You need to rebuild your confidence, and you need to actually work on yourself and work on your self-esteem, because if you want to attract, right? If you want to attract and if you want this person, you have to ask yourself, when my ex originally fell in love with me, what version of myself was I, right? What version of myself was I? You are probably happier. You are probably more confident. You are probably more fulfilled. You are probably in a much, much, much better space mentally than you are now, right? Much better space. All right, so you have to be the best version of yourself. Very, very important. The next thing, you need to have an energetic shift. And that's one of the things that I think a lot of people don't necessarily understand, because people are like, well, I'm doing no contact. I'm not reaching out. I'm not texting my ex. I'm not doing all these different things, but energetically you're still there, right? You're still thinking about them, revolving around your world around whether or not they're going to come back and what they're going to do next. And all of that energy that you're putting onto them that you're not putting onto yourself becomes unattractive. The way you reattract is by giving them something to miss. The way you reattract is by being a version of yourself that they can't resist. The way you reattract is by forcing your ex to lose you and to lose every single benefit of having you in their lives, right? We've all made decisions that we've regretted, but in order for your ex to regret this decision, your ex needs to feel the consequences of this decision. So this is something that's extremely important. Now, something else a lot of people wonder is, how long do you stay in no contact? The answer is simple. You stay in no contact until the dumper reaches out. So I understand that for a lot of you, you're probably thinking, my ex is stubborn. My ex is too stubborn to ever reach out. My ex just doesn't care to reach out. Their ego is so boosted. They're so distracted. Maybe your ex has, another person that's distracting them. Maybe they're in a rebound situation. Maybe they're on dating apps, right? So you're like, I need to be the one to reach out. No, you cannot be the one that reaches out. What reattracts is confidence. What reattracts is you being that best version of yourself. By the way, can you guys see my screen for those of you that are on YouTube? I think I figured out how to share my screen. For those of you who are on YouTube, can you see my screen? Just please comment in the box below. So yeah, so basically you have to be that best version of yourself. You have to be the version of yourself that's going to reattract them the most, right? Okay, so what's the psychology of no contact? So that's another very, very big question that people ask me. I don't get it, right? If I want my ex to miss me, people ask me this all the time. If I want my ex to miss me, and if I want my ex to regret the breakup, shouldn't I prove to my ex that I've changed? Shouldn't I prove to my ex that I'm now the best version of myself, right? The answer is yes, but before proving to your ex that you've gone through the growth and changes, the way to make your ex believe that is by first showing them that you don't need them, by first showing them that you're no longer super anxious, by first showing them that you're able to deactivate and you're able to have a life of your own and to love yourself and to be confident. And so if you want your ex back and you're like thinking of telling your ex 1,000 times, I'm so sorry for this, I'm so sorry for that, I'm sorry I did this, I'm sorry I did that, right? It's not believable. If you want your ex to believe you've changed, you have to first give them time and space away from you to even miss you so they even think of you positively. A really good example is this, okay? Imagine, right, there's a brick wall and I'm trying to move that brick. One of the bricks on that brick wall, that brick won't budge. When an ex breaks up with you, they've already made their decision. I'm better off without this person. That decision has been made. So because that decision has been made, right? Because it's already been made, no matter what you say, your ex is not gonna be budged, because your ex is like, well, I've already decided it. I've already thought about it for some time. It's, whatever you say, how do I believe you? How do I believe that you changed just because I broke up with you? How could you even have changed so quickly? So if you try to move that brick, it's not going to move. But if, let's just say, I give you some type of tool or a product that can make, that can break bits and bits of the brick, then you can pull the brick out. And that's exactly what no contact does. So by giving your ex time, by giving your ex space, you're giving them an opportunity to let go of the negative moments and memories that they shared with you. Your ex is able to miss you, and now your ex is able to make space to get nostalgic and to make space for some of the positive moments and the positive memories. Your ex is also able to experience for themselves that the grass just isn't greener. Not every single ex is going to try to date other people, but at the very least, the exes are going to want, to experience what it's like to be single. And it's so easy to have taken you for granted while your ex was in a relationship with you, because while your ex was with you, they got so many benefits. They never even had the opportunity to think, hey, what am I losing by losing this person? Okay? All right. For those of you who are following me on TikTok, you could always watch on YouTube at Stronger by 2 so that you could actually see my screen, what I'm sharing. Okay, so your ex needs to experience the consequences of losing you in order to change their minds about the breakup. They're not going to change their minds about it if they're not experiencing the consequences. And I'll give you a very good example for this. So imagine you got gifted a pair of AirPods by your parents. So you have this pair of AirPods, you don't really care about them. They're just AirPods. They're just to hear music or whatnot, right? But imagine you lose that pair of AirPods, and then you have to use the wired earphones. Now you're able to realize, wait a second, it was so much easier to work out with those AirPods than it is with my earphones. Or you're able to realize, wait a second, it was kind of neat how I'm able to charge my AirPod case while still using it, and the sound quality is really good. But the sound quality on the wired earphones are just not as good. So basically, by losing that pair of AirPods, you're now able to realize how lucky you were to have had that pair of AirPods. So you're not able to realize how good something truly is and how valuable someone truly is until you lose them. So your ex needs to lose you in order to truly be able to miss you, and in order to truly be able to want to come back to you. They need to lose you. If they don't lose you, it's not going to happen. So, I'm going to go next. Biggest mistakes that people make in no contact. So the first big mistake that people make is they break no contact too soon. Okay? They break no contact too soon. You shouldn't even be breaking no contact if you are the dumpy. I know that there's a lot of coaches out there and people are going to tell you all kinds of different things. Wait 30 days, wait 60 days, wait 90 days. But realistically speaking, if somebody broke up with you, there's no way any coach can tell you how the specific amount of time that an ex is going to be ready to speak with you, which is why I always say let the dumper break no contact with you and just focus on your healing and your self-improvement and your detachment. Because if you break no contact too quickly, you might just end up pushing your ex away, and you don't want that to happen. So you'd rather let your ex come back when they're ready to talk to you. Another big mistake that people make, which is a big mistake that I made in my no contact journey. So for those of you who were following earlier at the beginning of my masterclass, right? I described my no contact situation of how we got married, how I married my ex, right? And a big mistake that I didn't notice back then that I made that I want to avoid all of you guys from making is responding to breadcrumbs. So in my situation, when he had reached out, right, during the holidays and during New Year, in my mind, my thought was, well, if somebody's going to message you New Year's at midnight, you're the first person they're thinking about during this new year. You mean so much to them. They want you. They love you, right? That's my first thought process. But in reality, I noticed that breadcrumbs can look very differently. So there's all kinds of breadcrumbs, right? There's all kinds of breadcrumbs. But some breadcrumbs will be some exes might be a little bit more selfish and might just try to check in knowing that they don't want to be with you. But other exes, breadcrumbs, may be a little bit more innocent. They might genuinely miss you and genuinely still love you and genuinely still want to talk to you, but they're just not ready to be with you. So it doesn't really matter the intention of your ex's breadcrumbs. It really doesn't matter at all. It really doesn't, because if you respond to your ex's breadcrumbs the way I had responded to mine, what ends up happening is you're giving your ex the validation that they can have you, right? And by doing that, your ex now doesn't have to pursue you and doesn't have to come back to you. And I unfortunately have noticed many situations where people were breadcrumbs by their exes for a very long time, and their ex was just slowly detaching more and more and more and more. Because think about it. Imagine you break up with somebody. Isn't it so much easier to very slowly let them go than from one day to the next, boom, cut them off, right? It's so much easier to slowly let that person go until you're strong enough without them, until you feel good, right? So very important to not respond to breadcrumbs, only respond to reach outs. And I will discuss this a little bit after, the difference between breadcrumbs and reach outs. I do have my no contact support program where in one of the modules I have a video about it, and I'll share that with you guys a little bit later. So I discuss the differences, but it's very important not to respond to breadcrumbs. Very important. All right. Another big mistake people make that people don't notice is a mistake, it's a very unfortunate mistake to be making, is obsessively checking an ex's social media. So, multiple mistakes with it. If you've been following this masterclass from the beginning, you already know that it's very, very, very important to not look at your ex's social media, because you have to obviously detach if you want them to come back. And obviously, if you're obsessively looking at their social media, trying to get answers for everything, all you're going to end up doing is pushing your ex away. But another big problem with it is by looking at what your ex is posting, what your ex is doing, you're also signaling to your ex that there's an interest there. Then people ask me this all the time. Yeah, but Coach Pearl, at the end of the day, I have my fake account. How is my ex going to know that it's me? Nobody is stupid. We're a very tech-savvy generation. Sorry for being so straightforward, but chances are your ex probably knows it's you, especially if the account is private and especially if they're not some big influencer with a big following. If there's a fake account randomly starting to look at their stuff or asking to follow them, your ex might know. So if you made some of these mistakes, by the way, don't stress, don't worry. I made mistakes in my no contact situation too. For those of you who are here at the beginning of my masterclass, and for those of you who joined late and want a copy of it, you can just email me and I'll send you a copy of this masterclass so you can watch from the beginning. But basically, I myself made mistakes, right? Because I gave into the breadcrumbing. I was one that had initiated this whole conversation of I miss you so much. So I was one that initiated those emotional conversations. I did do no contact pretty much right away, but I still did try to work on things before doing no contact. So even I made mistakes, and we're married, right? So you can make mistakes in no contact and still get your ex back. So don't worry too much about those mistakes. Don't worry about them. There's always ways to pick yourselves up from it, right? Like I said, when you're going into this no contact journey, we're not trying to undo the past because we have no control over the past. We're just trying to undo the present and have a positive impact for the future, basically. Alrighty. Another mistake that people make on social media is looking at their friends' social media stuff to see what their ex is up to. Just stay away from your ex's social media. Stay away from your ex's friend's social media. Just completely stay away from any social media involving your ex, okay? And then a last mistake people make when it comes to social media, really big mistake is, and I also made this mistake as well, was that at the beginning, my first no contact period with my now husband, who was my ex at the time, I I still had him on social media. He had only removed me from socials later on, but at the beginning we had each other, and I would purposefully post things to get his attention. Big mistake, because in my mind I'm like, oh, I'm gonna post this that will trigger a memory. I'm gonna post that will remind him of this, remind him of that. Bad idea. Okay, you don't want if your ex thinks that they could still have you and you're still attached, they're not going to be interested. And I noticed that a big thing that a lot of my clients tend to do is a lot of my clients will post certain things on social media that's almost supposed to motivate them. It does motivate them. So I don't know why I did that, but that's motivating them in the way that they might repost certain things about healing, or like I'm leveling up, I'm doing so much better. And I understand that maybe you reading those things motivates you and makes you feel good. But at the same time, if you post those things on social media, your ex kind of knows you're still attached to them, you're still wanting them. So it's just not the best idea to post those things either. So when it comes to social media, you really, really want to be careful. You really want to be careful with all of that, okay? Okay, I'm just going to check in on the YouTube chat just to make sure everything is still going well. You guys can let me know if you can still see me, hear me, no problem. Okay. So, and for those of you who are following, we're going to do the Q&A at the end. So we're just going to continue. All right, so another big mistake that people make is passively waiting. And this is one of the most common mistakes because I've been telling people for years, never wait for your ex. Don't just wait. Actively take control of that time. Grow, self-improve, become a version of yourself that's so attractive to your ex. And I'm not just saying this to say it, because one of the first things that my now husband, who was my ex at the time, I'm not sure how to refer to him when I'm discussing this, but he was my ex, right, at the time, had told me when he reinitiated communication was, wow, I noticed how much you've grown. I noticed how much you've accomplished during this breakup, and it's really making me feel like we can get back together and be good. And it's making me feel like we could be together and I don't have to be a caged bird. Because I guess before when we were dating, he felt very caged, right? Because it was COVID, we were stuck to each other 24/7. And, when you're young, a lot of people kind of get lost in a relationship and, your partner becomes your identity and you don't have much outside of them. That was a little bit of that dynamic, right? Because I was more of the anxious one, he was more of the avoidant one. So when I had gone through my growth and I really worked on myself, he actually noticed and he thought it was super cool and super inspiring. And that was one of the big reasons he wanted to get back together with me. And of course, since then, I've obviously doing this as my full-time job. I've obviously had many conversations with my husband about his mindset. And I will be going and doing another masterclass probably next month. We'll talk probably a little bit more about the dumper's mindset. From my husband's perspective, who's a dumper that came back. So another big mistake that people make is signaling interest indirectly. Sorry, guys. This is a huge mistake people make. Huge mistake people make. So what people tend to do is, unfortunately, through mutual friends or through social media posts, they're going to show that they're indirectly still interested in an ex. So for example, they might ask mutual friends, or when a mutual friend talks to them and says, hey, how are you doing? They might start asking a lot of questions about the ex, right? Or maybe you'll post certain things on social media, kind of inferring that you still have some type of interest in your ex. Or maybe your ex's parents will reach out to you and you'll talk to them thinking, oh, they're not going to tell him or her about the whole entire, about what you're speaking to them about. But at the end of the day, if you're trying to talk to any mutual friend or family member of your ex, they're always going to have your ex's interest in mind first. So people tell me this all the time, right? So let's just say you're a guy and your ex breaks up with you and your ex's mom reaches out to you. You might think like, oh, well, my ex's mom is not going to tell my ex about it. She will. Your ex's mom will tell your ex about it. Even if your ex's mom tells you, hey, I won't say anything. Even if the mutual friend says, no, I want to see you guys together, I won't say anything. They always end up talking because they want to help you guys out. They have good intentions. So you never, ever want to tell any mutual friends or any family member of your ex any mutual friends or any family member of your ex, anything about your ex, or ask about your ex. Very important not to do that. Another mistake people make is trying to accidentally run into their ex to talk to them. So I said the example before, going to the gym at the time that you know your ex is going to be there. Not only do you not want to accidentally run into your ex, you want to actively avoid your ex. Actively avoid them. And we're going to do a question period later on for those, because I'm getting a lot of questions in the chat. We're going to do that later on after this masterclass. And then this last mistake is facilitating indirect communication. So the key takeaway is no contact works when you focus on your growth, your detachment, not on trying to control or manage your ex. All right, so we spoke about this before, but social media is still contact. So whether you're watching your ex's stories, you're liking their post, or you're posting for reaction, your energy will speak louder than your silence. So if you're still breaking those rules of no contact, because they are rules of no contact, right? Respecting the social media rules of no contact is very, very, very important. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm just going to take a sip of water. So, another really big mistake that I made in my no contact journey that I had to correct later on to get back together was breadcrumbs. So breadcrumbs are a really, really big thing. Really big thing. So the big issue with breadcrumbs is breadcrumbs responding. So, okay, sorry, let's backtrack for a second. What are breadcrumbs, right? What are breadcrumbs? Okay, so when an ex reaches out to you with anything other than them having genuine intention of getting back together. So when an ex reaches out without genuine intentions of wanting you back, that is a breadcrumb. That is a breadcrumb, right? And so your ex might breadcrumb you because they might just miss you and want to talk to you. Your ex might breadcrumb you because they might just, kind of not be sure as to whether or not they want to be with you. So they might want to drag you along a little bit. So sometimes they have better intentions. Sometimes with breadcrumbs, they have worse intentions. Like sometimes an ex actively knows what they're doing. Sometimes they don't know what they're doing. Also, somebody says, I hope you feel better. Sorry, I feel okay, guys. I'm just a little bit, my throat is hurting because I'm trying to speak really, really loud since the volume is down. So I'm kind of trying to yell, which is why I'm coughing a lot. But basically, exes might breadcrumb you, right, for different reasons. So for you, responding to a breadcrumb feels comforting. Because I remember my situation when he had reached out after the first 3 weeks of no contact, it was a breadcrumb, but I thought it was a real reach out, but it was a breadcrumb. But for me, it felt comforting, hearing from him, speaking with him, then seeing him again, feeling his presence. It felt so comforting. It felt for those moments, my pain had just lifted. For the moments that we communicated, my pain had lifted. But unfortunately, so did that for him. So when he got to hear from me, speak with me, get the validation that I still want him, his pain lifted as well. If you want your ex to come back, they need to feel pain. If your ex doesn't feel pain during this breakup, they're not going to come back to you. They need to feel some type of pain, and they're also not going to actually stay, And so as much as the breadcrumbs feel good, where an ex might offer attention without actual intention, it's very important that you don't respond to breadcrumbs. You don't respond to breadcrumbs. You only respond to real reach outs, right? Because when you respond to breadcrumbs, your ex's guilt is relieved, their curiosity about you fades, the urgency disappears. So you might feel hopeful, but then your ex feels comfortable. I'm also going to link here. Oh yeah, so in one of my modules here, my no contact program, I do discuss breadcrumbs. So I do discuss the difference between a breadcrumb, a reach out, and the rules for responding to both, all right? So this is something that, we're gonna, for those in my no contact support program, you have more information about this, but Basically, breadcrumbs, don't respond. Real reach outs, you do respond. Okay, so before we move on from this mistake, so to conclude a little bit between the no contact strategy that works versus a no contact strategy that doesn't necessarily work, okay? So no contact strategy that actually does work is one where you're focusing on yourself, on your healing, on your detachment, on your self-improvement, because there's a reason for this breakup as well. You're never 100% to blame for a breakup. It takes two to tango. So both people have flaws. So even though for example, for my breakup, he was the one that broke up with me. Well, obviously I had things I needed to work on, I needed to grow, I needed to do better, but at the same time, that doesn't mean that he was perfect too. We both have to grow, we both have to learn, we both have to get better in order for the relationship to actually work. And so that's a very important part of this whole entire no contact process, is reminding yourself that you can't be in control of what your ex is going to be doing. You can't be in control of what type of measures your ex is gonna take. Are they actually gonna work on themselves or not? Will they try to distract themselves with the rebound? Will they go clubbing and partying all the time? Will they go on dating apps? Because these are really big questions that people ask me constantly. You know, if my ex is doing this, have they moved on? If my ex is doing that, have they moved on? If my ex is doing this specific thing, have they moved on? In reality, exes are going to do all kinds of things during the breakup and during the relief stage. Every ex is very different, but an ex's behavior during the relief stage is not an indication of how your ex is going to feel after months of no contact. So people ask me this all the time. In my specific situation, did he do this? Did he do that? Did this happen? Did that happen? And my specific situation, right, is one of many, many examples of exes that I've helped reconcile. I'm definitely not the only one. And fun fact, over the past 4 years of being a relationship coach, I've actually had other clients whose situation did end in marriage as well. I'm not the only one. So there's been a lot of happy endings. You know, there's been marriages, there's been babies, and sometimes for some people, you know, they might just end up healing and being okay without them, right? There's so many different happy endings at the end of this no contact journey. But the most important part is that you're doing it the right way to maximize the results, because at the end of the day, you want to be in a position where you're so good with yourself, you're so happy, you're so confident, to the point that to the point that your ex does come back to you, but then you're able to make that decision. The power is in your hands. So if you can be the one to decide, is this right for me? So one quick example of something that you can be doing during no contact that can really, really help with the detachment and focusing on your goals is, I don't know if you guys have ever heard about this, but everybody knows what a bucket list is, I'm assuming. And so a really interesting thing for you to do would be to create a breakup bucket list of all the fun goals and hobbies that you want to accomplish. So for those of you that are in my no contact program, or that will be joining me in my no contact program for this next month, I have the form here for the breakup bucket list. So it looks like this. So you basically can just print this out. You can write down fun things to do, career goals, and personal goals as well. So that's the breakup bucket list for you. So that's also going to help you. Okay, so we're going to finish with my masterclass, and then once I'm done, then we're going to do the Q&A session at the very end, and we're also going to, at the very, very, very end, announce the 2 winners for the free 28-minute Zoom sessions with me. For the people that, you have to have been registered to this masterclass to be eligible to enter. So it's the people that are on the YouTube link. All right, so the last and most important question that everybody wants to know is, will my ex come back? Right? Will your ex come back? So you heard my no contact story. You heard about how I married my ex, right? And you probably, for those of you who already do know me through TikTok, you've probably seen a ton of my videos over the past few years. And sorry, one second, guys. And you've probably also, heard so many different success stories, but then at the same time, there seems to always be so many negative comments and things saying, hey, I've been in no contact for this amount of time and this amount of time, and it's not happening for me. And there's also a lot of negativity with this positivity as well, right? And so you're probably wondering, will my situation be like Coach Pearl's? Will we get back together, be better, or will my ex not come back to me? So if you want to know if your ex is going to come back to you, it really depends on many factors. So it depends on your relationship history, on the bond and the connection that you two have, on the attachment styles, reasons for the breakup. It just depends on also what you're doing with your time during this no contact, right? So there's a lot of things that can affect the factors of your ex coming back, but something that's very important to know is as long as you're going into no contact, and as long as you two had a strong bond and you two had a strong connection, then there's always going to be a good chance of your ex coming back. But I get it. I know that you're scared about going into no contact. So in order to help you guys, okay, I created a questionnaire that you guys can fill out, that I will look over, and I will give you guys a percentage of the likelihood of your ex coming back once you do no contact. And for those of you who do join me in my no contact support program, for those of you who do sign up, you will get emailed this questionnaire, and I will send you guys an answer within that week so we can really start this whole entire no contact journey together. So to finish off my masterclass, where do we go from here? What do we do next? Where do we go from here? So I'm going to share with you guys my screen. For those of you who are on YouTube, let me know if you see, I'm going to share with you another screen. And once I finish this masterclass, there will be a Q&A session. So for those of you who are on TikTok too wanting a Q&A, there will be a Q&A session. Let me just share my screen to show you. So how could I help you guys? All right. Oh, here's for those of you who see it, by the way, this is the assessment sheet. I'll show you guys quickly what it looks like. I don't know if you guys can see it, but this is the assessment sheet. So there's a bunch of questions you can answer about your relationship history, your ex's relationship patterns, the last interaction, emotional connection, current behavior. So there's just a bunch of things that we're going to go over. All right. Other than that, I'm going to share my screen again. Do you guys on YouTube see what I'm sharing? You guys can comment in the chat because I'm trying to share something else. 1 second. One second. Okay. Okay. Do you guys see my screen? Just gonna make it more clear. So for the YouTube people, you can let me know. I'm trying to figure this out. And for those of you who are on TikTok, we are going to do a Q&A shortly. I'm just going to share with you guys how I can help you so I can actually help you get your exes back. All right, so tell me if you guys can see my screen, if you're those here. 1 second. Okay, so everyone's saying yes. Yeah, I'll do the Q&A on YouTube for both of you guys. For the YouTube people, yeah, for the masterclass people, I'll do a screen. Okay, so how can I help you guys, okay? So this is what's next. So if you guys want to get back together with your exes, okay, this is how I can help you. So I created a 30-day no contact support program. So what this is going to do, right, is for 30 days, you're going to be a part of my support program. And in it, you're going to be having access to 5 different things. The first thing you get access to is this no contact support program that has 5 different modules, and every single module will have different videos about something you need to know about no contact. And there's going to be exercises and quizzes in order to make sure that you really understand, right, the different modules. Then every single week, once a week, we're gonna do a group Zoom session. So whoever signs up to this no contact support program will be able to do kind of like we did today, but it's gonna be small breakout group Zoom sessions with a few people per group. And once a week, we're going to be meeting for an hour for that month. So we're gonna be meeting 4 times that month. And then you're also going to be a part of a texting support chat with me and the others in the program. So if something happens in your situation or you're having a hard day, you can reach out to somebody or you can reach out to myself in this Telegram texting support chat. So in this no contact support program, for every single person who is a part of this live masterclass, okay, you guys can sign up to this no contact support program. I'll send you guys the link. And as a special bonus, you can get that assessment sheet, right, that I spoke about before, that's going to give you the assessment of what's the likelihood of your ex coming back. So I'll show you guys a little bit the program, and then I'll give you a little bit of information on how you can enroll yourself and sign up. And then we're going to go through with the Q&A, and then we're going to go through the winners for the free 28-minute sessions and the Q&As for everybody on YouTube as well. Well, because those are the people who are joining in the masterclass. So in the first module of the no contact program, you're going to learn what is no contact, the rules of no contact, the benefits of no contact, and how long no contact should last. There's also a bonus video of the stages that your ex will go through in no contact. And there's another bonus video that describes the psychology of no contact. And then at the end of this module, you can take the quiz to make sure you understood. So in module number 2, you're going to learn how to make no contact easier and heal. So in module number 2, you're going to learn about the checklist of things to do to make no contact easier, things to do to not miss your ex as much, things to do to help you heal, how to reduce your anxiety in no contact, and things to do instead of breaking no contact with your ex. So as discussed before, if you want to make no contact easier for you, you actually have to go through this process of trying to heal and trying to detach. And this is a very important part of no contact. And then you're going to get the breakup bucket list that you can print out so you can fill out fun things to do, your goals, to really hold yourself accountable, the career goals and personal goals. All right. Then for those of you who are struggling with looking at your ex's social media, there's going to be the social media tracker sheet. So it's a sheet and an exercise that's going to help you keep track of how much times a week you're looking at your ex's social media. And it's going to help hold you accountable to make sure to reduce the amount of times that you look at your ex's social media. And then the next module in my no contact support program, we'll discuss the difference between a breadcrumb and a reach out and the rules for responding to your ex. And for those of you who are in the program, if your ex does breadcrumb you and you need help, well, you can just send a text in that Telegram group with me and the others in it, and I'll be able to respond. And then, of course, there's the quiz. Then there's 2 more modules. In module number 4, you're going to learn all about attachment styles. So we're going to go through every single attachment style, and you're going to learn about this anxious avoidant dynamic. So in my situation, in my breakup, I was more anxious, he was more avoidant. And I think that's for most of your situations as well. Maybe not everybody's, because there's a couple differences, but you're going to learn about this anxious avoidant dynamic. And then I'm also going to be in module 4 discussing how long no contact lasts with different attachment styles. And then there's the quiz. And last but not least, how to make your relationship healthy again. That's module number 5. You're going to learn how to make your relationship with your ex healthy again, how to be happy in this relationship, and tips for dealing with anxiety and fears of your ex leaving again. Because as somebody that's reconciled with my ex, and we've obviously been happily married for a few years now, but when we originally got back together, it was really, really stressful for me, because I was constantly anxious and worried, what if he leaves, what if he leaves? So it was very hard at first, and it took time, right? So, all right, so for those of you who do sign up to my no contact support program, as a bonus, I will be sending you that assessment sheet where you will be able to basically get a percentage of how likely it is for your ex to come back. And it will take me about a week to look over everybody's assessment sheets and be able to give you a proper assessment. So for those of you who want to sign up, I will put the link in the YouTube. I will put the link in the YouTube chat and in the TikTok chat. So I'll put the link for the program. And I will send you guys, whoever registered by email, I will send you an email with this link. But since you guys joined me on this masterclass and I want to be able to help you guys, for anybody that signs up today, you have today until the 31st, the end of the month, to get a 15% discount for the no contact support program. And with that discount, it's $345 for the whole month for everything included, or you can do a payment plan of 2 payments. So I'll put the link in the YouTube chat. And then I'll put it, and then I'll put it in the TikTok chat as well. So here. So guys, do you guys see the link in the chat? And I'll put it in the TikTok chat as well before we start the Q&A period. So I'm going to put it in the TikTok chat as well. I'm not sure. Let me try to put it in the chat for both of you guys. So do you guys see the link for the program? If you guys are on YouTube, do you guys see the link? I just put it in the chat. Do you see it? Yes. Okay. I'm just going to put it in here before we start the Q&A. So you guys are seeing it? All right. So who's going to be joining me next month in my no contact support program? Who's going to be joining me? Let's hear it. Okay. You guys are seeing the link. Perfect. So I'm going to put the link here. I'm not sure if I'm able to put it in the YouTube, here, I'll leave a comment. All right, guys, so for the TikTok people, I just put the link for the no contact program and I'm pinning this comment. So I'm also going to pin it here on the YouTube chat as well. It's pinned. All right, so leave in the comments who's going to be joining me for the next month in my no contact support program. Who's going to be joining me? And don't forget, you're going to be getting the assessment, you're going to be getting everything that's included, and we'll be able to meet once a week every single month. So you guys can let me know in the chat. Okay, so Helen said that she's joining. Yay, perfect. Welcome, Helen. Who else is going to be joining me in this no contact support program? I'm just going to leave another comment here on TikTok before we start the Q&A, and I'm going to ask the YouTube people first because you guys signed up by email for this. Okay, so Rachel Hansen says, I think I will. So how come, Rachel, you said you think you will? What's stopping you from potentially? Okay, Christina's considering joining. Mike wants to join. Wonderful, Mike. I'm really excited to be able to do the sessions. All right, so for you, Rachel, I said, I think I will. What would be stopping you from joining you? Why is it I think and not I will? Same with you, Karen Sigcho, 1021. Oh, so somebody said if it is a bit expensive for some of you guys, you could always send me an email at pearl@stronger-by-2, and we could always figure out a 3 payment plan, even though usually there's 2 payments only. But for the I think I will, what is the I think? What are you guys afraid of? Because I want to help you guys. I want to help you guys get your happy ending. I want to help you guys get your happy ending. I want to help you guys get back with your exes. I want to be able to give you guys what you deserve, and I want to be able to help you, and this is how I can help you, and this is how I can help you the most. So for Tina, she's asking for the price. So I did pin the link to join. So for you guys that are on TikTok that won't get an email because you didn't sign up by email, I pinned the link here. You'd have to copy paste it, or you guys can send me a message through TikTok. But basically, if you want to join the program, it is either you could get the 15% discount, which is $349 for the whole entire month, or you can pay 2 payments of $200. But these discounts are going to end December 31st. So you have until the end of December only. And Christina said, I think a payment plan will definitely help. So if you want to join and you want a payment plan, then make sure to send me an email because you will get an email from me. All right, so there's a couple people that are joining me for the no contact support program. Somebody said, my ex hasn't reached out, so I think it's pointless. I understand that you feel it's pointless because your ex hasn't reached out, but at the end of the day, regardless of the situation, you definitely want to be in a place where you're actually doing no contact the right way, and at the very least, you know that you'll be able to heal and to detach and to feel good at the end of it all. You want to take your power back. You don't just want to take your power back. You need to take your power back. You need to make sure that you are okay no matter what. And this is how you do it, by going through your no contact. You want to actually take action. And I know that this course, and I know that this program can be expensive for some of you guys, but just remind yourself of this, right? When we want something, we need to take action. We don't want to passively sit down. We don't want to passively wait for somebody else to choose for us. We want to take action, and this is how you take action, by joining this no contact support program, by meeting with me once a week, by having a supporting and loving community of people that you can communicate with during your hard times, by having other people hold you accountable in those moments where you feel weak and you want to text and you want to give up. This is how you do it. So somebody said, I'm scared of my ex moving on and never reaching out. I know you're afraid of your ex never reaching out. I know how scary it is, you know, the thought of an ex never reaching out, but you have to stay positive and you have to keep going. You have to keep going. So somebody said what's stopping them for the program is the price. So if you want, you could always send me an email, because if you got this link, you probably got it by email. So either you got it by email or by DM or by WhatsApp, however you got this link, respond there, let me know, and we'll figure out a payment plan for those of you that it's a question of payment. So for those of you that will be joining me, Hazel and Pasa 907, you said you will too. Yay, that's so exciting. So for those of you who will be joining me, I pinned the link so you guys can start signing up while we're still on this session. And if the people who sign up, I'll already start sending you guys the assessment, and you can start asking questions here. So you guys can start signing up just to make sure that it works. So for you, Helen, I think you said you're joining. I think you said that you're joining. So yes, you can start signing up through this link. I'm going to copy it again. I'm going to copy it again in the chat. So we're going to see what the first one is to sign up here during this live. Alrighty. So let's hear some questions. So while we wait for people to start signing up, I want to hear some questions, and the winners will be announced at the end. So we're going to do a quick question period, and at about 2:30 p.m. Eastern time, I will announce the winners. Okay. So somebody says, I can't do no contact with mine because we own and manage a business together. Would this program work for me if I have to be in no contact with them? Yes, this program, my no contact support program, would still work for you, and you could still get your ex back even though you manage a business, because in the first module where I talk about the rules of no contact, I actually discuss for situations like yours where you either share kids with an ex, maybe you're studying in college, or you're in school with your ex, or maybe you own a business with your ex. And in those situations, you have to basically apply a version of no contact it's called limited no contact, where you basically only contact and communicate with them about things that are necessary. So you only communicate about things that are necessary. So we're currently in no contact, but he's paying for my therapy, and he insisted. What do I do? Because my crash outs and my unemployment is what made him break up with me. He still loves me, he says. Well, it sounds like you, Christina, might be in a situation where there's some type of breadcrumbs going on. You know, if you are in a situation where you really feel like you need therapy, and where you feel like you need therapy and you need him to still be able to financially pay for it, I understand that, and that's okay. But at the same time, you still cannot be in constant communication, right? It's like if he wants to pay for it, he can, but you shouldn't be talking to him about your therapy and having constant contact with him. That's definitely not a good idea. You have to break that full no contact. So in situations where you guys still need something from your ex, or there's still some type of link, you want to break those links as much as you can, and only to what is necessary, basically. Okay, so we did get the first person that signed up to the no contact program. So welcome, Adams. I don't want to say the full name, so I think it's Adam. That's the name I'm going to give here. Welcome to the program. I saw that you signed up. If you have any question, let me know in the chat. And welcome to the No Contact program for this month. I'm really excited to have you in it. Really, really excited. Somebody says, do you work with LGBT couples? LGBT couples. Sorry, I think you made a typo. You wrote LGTV. But yes, of course I do. I work with all kinds of different couples. I work with same-sex couples, different sex couples, couples that are in open relationship, closed relationships. I work with all kinds of different people. I feel comfortable with everybody's situation. I feel like I've seen so many different situations over the past few years. So I feel very confident in no matter what your situation is. And I know for a fact you're going to have a win at the end of this, no matter what. So this person says, X has reached out and spent 2 months going back and forth with me. Is this normal? Yes, you are stuck in a breadcrumbing cycle. We did discuss breadcrumbing earlier today, and I'm going to put my webcam back. We did discuss breadcrumbing earlier today, and it is very, very, very important to continue your no contact, because what you don't want to do is you do not want to be stuck in a breadcrumbing cycle. You do not want to be stuck in a situation where you're just easing your ex's pain, you're helping your ex get over you by still being in contact with you. It's very important to not get stuck in this breadcrumbing cycle. Okay, somebody else just signed up to the No Contact Support Program. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm super excited to have you in it as well. I'm just gonna put the link in the chat one more time here for those of you guys who want to sign up. If you're on TikTok, I pinned the link with the No Contact Support Program. If you're here you are. So, alrighty, welcome. So, what do I do not to break no contact? I really want to text him because I miss him. And because I miss him, love him, and have so much feelings for this man. I completely understand, I completely understand how hard this is. I really do. Because obviously you're in a situation where reaching out to this person is just the only thing that you want to do because you love your ex so much and you want to get that comfort from this person. But you have to remind yourself that if you give in and if you reach out, you're just going to end up losing your ex. So you have to ask yourself this. It's like instant versus delayed gratification. Would you rather be in a situation where you're communicating with your ex and getting that gratification instantaneously? So you're feeling good in this moment, but then in the long run, you basically end up losing this person for good. No. So things that you can do is obviously you can sign up to my no contact support program so that, while you're in the texting chat, you have a accountability buddy that can make sure and that holds you accountable to make sure you don't reach out to your ex. So in those moments where you feel the most sad, where you feel like you're about to break no contact, this is where you have that accountability buddy come in and give you that positive encouragement that you need in order to not break no contact. And there's also a couple things in module 2 of my no contact program that I discuss. So for those of you who are signing up, it's in module 2 that you are going to see, that you basically are going to see a couple things that you can do. But obviously staying very busy is very important. Filling in your day with things that are meaningful, having goals, having hobbies, having a support system. There's just a bunch of little things that can be done. But if you really feel like you're going to struggle with staying strong in no contact, sign up to my no contact support program because it's a support group for people going through the exact same thing as you. And we're all going to be in this together, supporting and loving each other and holding each other accountable. If you guys want to join my no contact support program, I pinned it in the comments in both the TikTok chat and in the YouTube chat as well. Okay, so there's a lot of questions, so we're gonna do another one here. My ex and me talk not that long ago, but he didn't wish me Merry Christmas. So I understand how frustrating it is to not get a Merry Christmas from your ex, but you have to remind yourself that whether or not your ex wishes you Merry Christmas doesn't change the outcome on whether or not they come back. Because as we discussed at the beginning of this masterclass, right, your ex, right, has already made the decision to end this relationship. Your ex already has the reasons, right? So we can't undo the past. By going into no contact, we can't undo the past and the breakup, but what we can do is make your ex miss you enough and lose you so that changes the course, that basically changes the course of the future between you guys. So even if your ex at the time of Christmas doesn't tell you Merry Christmas because at this moment they're not ready for communication, they don't want reconciliation, that doesn't mean that they're never going to want reconciliation or that they're never going to miss you. Because even in my situation, yes, did I get a breadcrumb on New Year's? Yes, but there was other times that were important that I did not get a breadcrumb, right? Or there was other things that he did that made me really feel like, okay, he's really done with me, but then he backtracked and regretted the breakup and came back to me and we got back together. So guys, who is next to signing up to the No Contact Support Program? I pasted the link in the chat, so make sure to sign up. Okay, so Adam's here. I signed up to the No Contact Support Program. Welcome. I have made all the classic mistakes and pushed her away so much. And pushed her away too much. She has me blocked and everything and told me to move on because she has. Do you still have a chance? So look, exes will tell you all kinds of things during the breakup. They're going to tell you the most discouraging of discouraging things, especially when you're begging for them back and especially if you're making every mistake. So usually, usually the way this works, right, is simple. At the beginning of the breakup, your ex might try to be very nice. They might like be encouraging, keeping a door open. The more you beg, the more you plead, the colder they get, the meaner they get, especially if they're avoidant, because avoidance will shut down. Why do they shut down? Because the more that you beg, the more that you plead, it basically threatens their level of independence, and that disrupts their nervous system. And so essentially, the more you beg, the more you plead, the more frustrated they get, the more they push you away until they reach a point where they're like, hey, I moved on, you need to move on. So the things that they're telling you at that time is a reflection of what they're feeling in those moments. But remember, emotions are not stagnant. Emotions ebb, emotions flow, emotions grow, emotions descend, right? So it's like, just because your ex is feeling something at this moment doesn't mean they're going to feel the same exact thing after months of no contact. So yes, you still have a chance of getting an ex back, even if they tell you, I don't love you anymore, I've moved on, I want nothing to do with you. I've seen it time and time and time again. All right, and welcome to our No Contact Support Program. So who is going to be the next person to sign up while we're still on this live? I want you guys to sign up while we're still on this live. So for all the people who said they're going to be in this program, go ahead, sign up so that we can secure your spot and I can send you the assessment. Alrighty, let's do. Can no contact work twice? That's a very good question. Can no contact work twice? So if, for example, an ex comes back and, well, first of all, it's a double layered question because for some people, an ex coming back, can just be them coming back with breadcrumbs, not being ready to reconcile. And that was my situation, right? 3 weeks of no contact. He came back, wasn't ready to get back together, but then came back again after 3 months. So in my situation, yes, it worked out and it can work out even though they came back, went quiet again. That's extremely common with breakups, breadcrumbs. Very, very, very common. But in the other case where it's not the first breakup, yes, it is possible for your ex to come back, but usually with every breakup, it might be a little bit slower because an ex can be hanging on to certain things that they feel like went wrong in the relationship. So it can take them longer to come back. Okay. Alrighty, let me see some more questions. So we're going to answer a couple more questions and then we'll do the 2 free 20-minute session giveaway. All right. There's still quite a lot of you guys here, which I'm really happy about. Okay. 4+ months since the breakup and current no contact is 59 days. I always broke no contact. We work at the same place and he tries to sit far from me. He didn't reach out, but I had my birthday this December and Christmas too. So if it's been not 59 days of no contact, you're still very early with the no contact. You're far, far, far too early in no contact to, to actually, you're far too early in this no contact to actually know, okay, that's it, he's not going to come back or whatnot. Obviously, if it's been a couple months since the breakup and you keep reaching out and breaking no contact, then it's kind of like the commenter from before where I was saying, well, the more you break no contact, the more frustrated exes get, the meaner they get, the colder they get, which is why you haven't gone to reach out for your birthday and Christmas and whatnot. But you can still get your ex back. I highly, highly recommend you sign up to my no contact support program because you're still getting the sale for it. And so that we can actually help you stay strong in no contact and you can be a part of this loving, nourishing community. So in those moments where you're feeling weak, where you feel like you're going to reach out, we're all here to pick up the pieces and to support you. So I highly recommend that you sign up. Okay, well, it says somebody else signed up to the no contact support program. Make sure to leave a comment in the chat if it's you because I want to hear from you what questions you have. Let's hear it. All right. Okay, so all right. So Hazel, you said you're going to sign up. Have you signed up yet? Mike, have you signed up yet? I want to see. And then Karen, have you signed up? Rock and Roll at Emo, have you signed up yet to the No Contact Support Program? I want to see those signups. I'm excited to see who's going to join me this month. Let's see. So let's see next. So I abruptly broke up with my ex twice due to my anxious. I abruptly broke up with my ex twice due to my anxious attachment. He came back the first time, but not this time. I told him I put in more effort that he was asking for, but no reply from him. Give him time, give him space. He feels hurt. Time and space heals all wounds, and that's how you get them to come back when their wounds are healed. But he needs time, he needs space for that to happen. Okay. Somebody said, what if we have a hangout with mutual friends in a couple of days? Should I go? How should I act? It's always better to avoid the mutual friends, to avoid seeing your ex unintentionally in case if you don't have to, you want to avoid your ex like the plague because you don't want to be around your ex. And even though you're not really talking to your ex, maybe through your expressions, your ex knows you. So maybe through your expressions or maybe through your demeanor, your ex can kind of tell that there's still an interest. So it's always better to avoid. If it's a situation you can't avoid and you have to be there, then just try to maintain no contact as best as you can. Okay, so somebody says, I'm in the reverse. I broke up with him. Now he wants no contact. So if you are in the reverse, then if you broke up with him and you're the dumper, well, it's up to you to essentially break no contact, which I know you guys hate to hear, but the dumper needs to break no contact. The ball's in your court. All right, I'm also on TikTok getting a bunch of questions. On YouTube, I'm getting a bunch of questions. Let's see. My fiance broke up with me after 6 years together. We were meant to get married next year. He reached out over Christmas. We have postponed the wedding. How do I get him back and go forward? Give him space, give him time, go into no contact. You guys were together for 6 years. You were engaged. It clearly meant a lot. Clearly you meant a lot to him. So definitely just give him no contact. All right, guys. So who else is going to be joining me this next month in my no contact support program? I did put the link in the TikTok chat and I put the link in the YouTube chat for both of you guys. All right. What if, oh, sorry, there's so many questions here. Does no contact work after a 3-month relationship where it was going very well? They broke up abruptly by text morning after their birthday and I never heard back from them. It's been 7 weeks of no contact. Yes, it can still work. It definitely can still work. Even in short-term relationships, the only thing that really matters is the bond and the connection. That's the only thing that genuinely matters. The bond, the connection. So it doesn't matter how short, how long distance, in person. None of that stuff matters. All right, let me ask I'm gonna ask a few more questions. Okay. Oh, we just got somebody else that signed up. Welcome, Mike, to the No Contact Support Program. All right, somebody else signed up. I'm actually excited to have you join me in this No Contact Support Program, and let's see who else joins me for this next month. To sign up, guys, the link is in the YouTube chat, the link is in the TikTok chat. Let's have this happen. Alrighty, let's go. Can you guys still see me on these lives? Because I think there's, oh no, yeah, I still see. Okay. All right, so what if he has a relationship after 2 years of no contact? Well, look, I think if it's been a very, very, very long time in no contact, you're definitely in a space where you should absolutely focus more on healing and more on detaching. At the end of the day, exes can come back at any moment, really. Exes can come back whenever, but it's very important to really put that energy onto yourself and focus on yourself at this point. If his reason for leaving was religion, can he still come back? He says he wants to focus on God, but still loves me. 66 days of no contact for me. So I get a lot of situations where people have different religions or different cultures. I get those types of situations very often. And I think, it really depends on whether or not there could be a potential solution to this question. Like, are you in a situation where there could have been a potential solution? Like where, both of you guys are in a space where either you're okay being in an interreligious relationship, or is one person going to be following the religion of the others? As long as, whatever your situation is, as long as there could be a potential solution that could work for the problem, they can come back and that can work itself out. But there needs to be a potential solution to it, right? There needs to be something that could be resolved. She told me she'll disappoint herself if she gets back with me, but she still kept on talking with me for 2 weeks. She told me she still loves me, but not like before, and she stopped talking today. Well, it's very, very, very common for exes to do that, where they'll basically continue talking to you, breadcrumb you a little bit, drag you along a little bit, and then go cold. You really, really should consider joining the No Contact Support Program, because I discuss in details the difference between breadcrumbs and reachouts. So you'll be able to see a little bit the difference between the two and kind of understand that, okay, an ex can breadcrumb you, right, and then stop, but that doesn't mean that they're done with you. It just means your no contact is beginning and your journey to reconciliation begins. Alrighty, so we'll ask 2 more questions and then we'll announce the winners. Can he come back if he broke up, still talked about us for 3 months, and now no contact since a week? Yes, your ex can come back even though there's a delay before no contact, but it's very important to not fall into this breadcrumbing cycle. And I speak a lot about the breadcrumbing cycle in module 2 of my no contact support program. Make sure you guys sign up if you haven't already. I don't know who's going to be the next one to sign up, but sign up. I put the link in the TikTok chat. I put the link in the YouTube chat. I pin the comments. Make sure to sign up. And for all of you guys that are in breadcrumbing situations, yes, you can come back from this. Yes, you can. Okay. Should I send her a happy birthday? No, you should not send a happy birthday. Don't send her a New Year's text, even if she wished you a happy birthday. If she broke up with you, she needs to feel your absence. Okay, Christina said, I'll email you about the no contact support program on the payment plan. Yes, email me. I'll be happy to try to find a proper accommodation so you can join us. Yes, you guys can always email me or, DM me on Instagram or through WhatsApp. However you got the link, just respond to me. Or if it's on TikTok, then make sure to contact, then if you guys are on TikTok, then you can always make sure to just, message me through TikTok. So somebody else joined. Glitter 52. I don't know who that is, but welcome to the No Contact Support Program. You can leave a comment if you have a question, but welcome. I'm so happy we're getting a lot of people joining. This is so wonderful. This is amazing. Great. Okay. So somebody's asking me again the religion. I already answered the religion question. So yeah, he can come back if there could be a potential resolve for the two of you. So if there could be a solution for the two of you, then yes, he can come back. So there's more questions. Oh, I think I might be repeating some. All right, so we'll do two more questions and then we'll announce the winners. So somebody said he wants an evaluation talk in 3 months. I keep hope, but he tries to move on. Both of us cried when bringing up ending it fully. We're both emotionally attached. We still love, but drain each other. Anxious avoidant. Well, the anxious avoidant dynamic is very common. And excuse me, in module 4 of my no contact support program, I discuss it in depth. Excuse me. And so definitely join my no contact support program. Guys, remember the link is in the chat in the YouTube. The link is in the TikTok chat. Join to learn more about it. But essentially, if he does want to if you guys broke up due to that cycle and he wants to have an evaluation talk, it sounds like he definitely is still attached to you and he's trying to make sure that he doesn't fully lose you. But at the same time, he's not committing to you either. So I would say that it's, unless he makes it clear that he wants to actually reconcile, as harsh as that is, you might have to forego that evaluation talk and just let him know that you're going to respect his decision, because he needs to feel like he's losing you. He needs to feel like he's losing you. He needs to feel like he's losing you if you want him back. Okay. Pat said, you've helped me tremendously in this past year, Coach Pearl. I appreciate your advice so much. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Sending heart and love to all of you guys this holiday season. It's been my pleasure. And I do see some people who I've helped in this chat as well. And thank you guys for, I'm happy to still be of support of you guys. I know, because for a lot of the clients that I have also helped with reconciliation, I still help them with their relationships down the line. I'm here for forever. How can I get her back if she's moved on? Well, I think moved on is a big word, because people assume if an ex is seeing or talking to somebody else, they've moved on, right? But that doesn't mean that they moved on. Doesn't mean that they moved on. Just because they're seeing somebody else, that could just be a rebound. That could just be a rebound and nothing more. So it doesn't mean that they moved on. I do have to recommend, I do have to recommend for all of you guys, join my no contact support program. It's in the link in the chat in the YouTube. It's a link in the chat in the TikTok. Who's going to be next to join me? Somebody says, do you respond to emails? I do try to respond to emails. You guys can definitely email me. There's probably going to be a lot of emails. So for those that are in my no contact support program, you will be able to text me for direct help throughout the whole entire month that you're subscribed. You will be able to text me. So I recommend that as well. But okay. Somebody said, what if I were the one at fault? I'm 32 together for 12 years. The last text I sent was that I'll always be there. If you are the one at fault, I understand. I mean, it takes two, you know what I mean, for the downfall of a relationship. So I wouldn't fully blame yourself. It definitely takes two. It definitely takes two to tango. So don't fully blame yourself. Just use it as an opportunity to grow, to do better. I felt the same way as you. When I got dumped, I felt like it was all my fault too. And it was really hard for me to come to terms with, I feel like I was the reason that he had left and I could have done things better. But guess what? We live, we learn, we grow. And I used that as a learning opportunity, and we did get back together. So yes, it can happen. Somebody asked, is the quiz with the percentage of the ex coming back free? So the assessment sheet that I'm sending to people that I'm gonna look over. So the assessment sheet that I would look over to see, okay, what's the chance of your ex coming back? It's actually an assessment sheet that I'm sending to the people that are signing up to the no contact support program. It's just because it's gonna be very time consuming, to have to go through every assessment sheet and to give a real assessment. It isn't one of the products that I sell. It isn't something that I really sell. I mean, I could consider that in the future. It was just a little bonus, extra added for people that are signing up to the no contact support program. But if you guys want, you guys could always just book an individual session with me, right? So you guys could always just book an individual session. I will be emailing you guys. Whoever signed up to the masterclass will get an email from me. So make sure to look at your email inbox. So you're going to get an email with me. You can get an email from me with all the different links to follow my different social medias. I do have a free newsletter where I give free support by email to people. I also have paid sessions. Then we have the no contact support program. Okay, somebody else just joined the no contact support program. I don't know who that is, but it doesn't say a name, but welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, so we've answered a lot of questions. This stream has been going on for almost 2 hours. So without further ado, I will do one more question. Can she come back if she's been in a rebound can she come back if she's in a rebound? Yes, she can come back if she's been in a rebound. Hi, Eduardo. I know that you were in the program before. We did sessions before. But yes, and your ex can come back even if they're in a rebound, as you already know. Okay, so this is the last opportunity for people to sign up. Remember that the discount for the no contact support program, that 15% discount, is only going to be valid until December 31st. So you have only a couple days to join, and then the first group Zoom is going to happen this Wednesday. So you don't have that much time left to join, because this Wednesday, which is the 31st, is the first group Zoom session we're going to be doing. So make sure to sign up. Make sure to sign up. Make sure to sign up. Okay, so now before I let you guys go, I will choose the winners for the 2 free 20-minute Zoom sessions with me. Okay? Sorry guys, I've been talking a lot and I'm yelling to try to be loud, so. And if you guys enjoyed this masterclass, I am going to be doing more masterclasses. I'm going to try to do a masterclass every 4 or 6 weeks. So we're definitely going to have another masterclass. So definitely keep following me on TikTok. You can subscribe to me on YouTube. So TikTok, Instagram, I'll email you guys again for the next masterclass as well, so you guys can sign up and we can do this again. Okay, so now to choose the winners, it's going to be randomized based on all the people who signed up for the no contact masterclass. So it's going to be randomized. I don't want to share my screen while we do this because I don't want to share people's names. Okay. All right, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and randomly select 2 winners for the session. So 2 people that signed up are going to be selected. Alrighty. Are you guys seeing my screen or not? I'm not trying to show my screen anymore. Are you guys seeing my screen or not? Because I want to keep the integrity of people's names private. Okay. All right, can you comment down below if you're seeing my screen or not, so I can just keep people's names private? And okay, no, okay. And then I'm gonna, yeah. No contact, okay. Perfect. Okay, so let me just, I'm gonna randomly select 2 people out of all the signups. Okay. Okay guys, so I'm just exporting all the signups and I'm gonna ask AI to randomly select out of everybody that signed up. So we'll see who's gonna win, and then that's gonna be it. I have the first name and the email. I don't know if people want their full names to be out there, so I might just give a first name and I'm gonna send an email to the winners. Yeah, okay, you have to leave in 5 minutes. So I am just going to announce the winners for the free session. So let me just announce the winners. Oh, somebody else just signed up. So welcome to whoever signed up to the No Contact Support Program. You guys can sign up through the link in the chat. So through the link in the YouTube chat or the TikTok chat. Okay, so I have a list of everybody that signed up to this masterclass, and I will ask AI to randomly generate a winner. And I am gonna only give a first name here because I don't wanna divulge people's full names and emails. And I'm gonna send an email to the winner. So whoever signed up to the masterclass is entering a chance in winning one of the free sessions. And for those of you who watched on TikTok, make sure to sign up to my next masterclass, which is gonna happen in 4 to 6 weeks, if you wanna have a chance of winning one of the 2 free sessions. So let me just get a winner for you guys. I'll name a first name and then you'll get an email. I'm gonna say choose a winner. Okay, so the AI chose, 2 winners. So the first winner's name is Emily, and the last name starts with M. I'm not gonna divulge the first name. And the second winner's name starts with Justin, and the last name starts with L. So those 2 people are gonna get emails from me. And so if that's you, well, you'll get the free session. But if you guys did enjoy this masterclass, you guys can sign up to my No Contact Support Program. I left the link in the YouTube chat, in the TikTok chat. Email me, send me a DM, and I will get you guys signed up. Remember, the discount for the No Contact Support Program is going to end December 31st because that's when the first group Zoom session is taking place. We only have a couple days to sign you guys up, all right? All right, guys, it was a pleasure meeting all of you. It was such a pleasure meeting all of you. I'm so excited to have the opportunity to do it again in hopefully 4 to 6 more weeks. And yeah, I'll see you guys again soon. I'll send you emails and follow me on social media, Stronger by 2 for TikTok, Stronger by 2 for Stronger by 2 Inc. INC on Instagram, Stronger by 2 on YouTube. And I will send you guys emails and communicate with you whenever there's the next masterclass. All right? It was a pleasure meeting all of you guys. It was such a pleasure. And have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And I'm so excited for all of you guys that are going to be joining me in my No Contact Support Program. If you have any questions about the program, about discounts, more payments, send me an email. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend, guys. Bye.